for joining us on This Is Exclusive. Ladies and gentlemen, there's been a huge debate across the world, not just in America, not just in Europe, not just in India, across the world. America keeps aside roughly $40 to $50 billion every year. And this money is sent to countries in Africa, countries in Europe, countries in Southeast Asia. Deep state has interests. They've had interests in India, they've had interests in Bangladesh. Today we break down the USAID controversy. The USAID has been halted by America. We will tell you why it's of interest in India, because there are many players, many of them suspect, who got this money in India. Our focus is on that tonight. Here are the headlines on This Is Exclusive this Monday evening. His name is Ranveer Alabadia, aka Beer Biceps, paying for perversion and filth on India's Got Latent. The filth on YouTube facing a flurry of complaints across India as different people across different walks of life file complaints.
तरीके से कुछ चीज़ों को कहा गया है, प्रेजेंट किया गया है। हमारे समाज में हमने अश्लीलता के भी कुछ नियम तैयार किए हैं। अगर उनको कोई पार करता है तो ये बहुत गलत बात है। अगर ऐसी कोई बात होती है तो उसके ऊपर कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए।
Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis says there is a limit, there is a line you cannot cross, says action will now be taken. Republic breaks down the USAID mystery. What Donald Trump and his government, his administration in America is now going after: the corruption, the dirty money, the deep state links all emerging. USAID links to deep state, Soros, even Lashkar got the money. Can you believe it? Details on the show this evening. So we have a six-part breaking on the show this evening, ladies and gentlemen. I have a very special guest joining us as well. I'm going to go part by part about the USAID funding. Here's part number one. Breaking number one. USAID transferred money to a company called ARD Incorporated. ARD, that was the kind of money that went into ARD. The number that you see on your screen is $1.73 billion. Only since 2014, 15,000 crore was dispersed to a company called ARD Inc. Now, why are we showing you this graphic? Why are we telling you about this company? Because this company has roots in India. This company has roots in India. This company has addresses in India. And when you search more about this company, they tell you that it was taken over by another company called Tetra Tech. Republic is investigating. Now, we are not saying, or we are not alleging that all of this money was suspicious, but we are trying to find out details of where this money was used, because $1.73 billion is a huge money. Which country got how much of this money is something that we need to look at, and how much of it came into India is something that Republic TV is investigating. That's part number one, breaking detail number one. As we break down the details, let's now get to the second big breaking update on the show this evening. Can you believe it? This USAID, and as you peel the layers, one by one, the details are emerging. The rot is coming out. US paid Soros to hit India. It's confirmed. George Soros was given the highest civilian honor by Joe Biden just before Joe Biden was thrown out of power in America, and it's all coming together. $270 million was paid by USAID. That is American taxpayer money, went into Soros-linked groups, Soros-owned groups, Soros-run groups. 270 million is roughly 2,361 crore rupees, which went into different countries. Was this money to target the Prime Minister of India and the government of India? Was this money used to target governments in South Asia? Governments like Bangladesh, which have fallen in the last few months. I'm going across to Mahesh Jethmalani. Mahesh Jethmalani is a senior advocate, Rajya Sabha MP as well. Mahesh Jethmalani, I have a part-by-part breaking. It gets very interesting. I won't tell you the details of this company because we want to get the full details in our hand. We'll do the report and then we'll bring out the details. But there is a company that gets roughly, I won't put a number to it because then it becomes very obvious, but several $1 billion. It has an address in Delhi. When you go to that address, the company doesn't exist. And then they divert you to another address. You go there, it's just a room, right? And this company reportedly has worked with different governments in the past. They claim to do some work, NGO kind of work. But the sheer amount is staggering. And as we break down the details, it raises more questions about why this money was sent to India and where this money went. Mahesh Jethmalani, your first response to this controversy.
Well, I mean, it's an alarming revelation. But the first question that, arises from what you've just said is did the entire 15,000 crores go to this company in bank accounts in India? Was that entire amount designated for India? Because that's an awful lot of money, and that suggests that money is used to stir trouble in India. In the absence of any further evidence, I can't say more. But if you have that kind of money coming into bank accounts for an entity, which is obviously a fake entity, it's just a cloak for people behind it to take that money and meddle in India's political affairs, prima facie. So the first thing you need to tell us is did that entire 15,000 crores or $1.73 billion all come into bank accounts in India? And if not, what was the amount that came into India?
Okay, let me give you another clue, right? I'm not saying all of that money came into India. A part of it came to India. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Let me now get you the third breaking update on the show, right? My third breaking update as we went through the numbers on your screen right now. USAID and India. See, I'm not saying, or we are not suggesting, Mahesh Jethmalani, that all of this money was used to target India. I'm saying a part of it may have been used to, genuinely help people, genuinely help organizations, genuinely help those who needed help, right? But the sheer size of it, since 2001, Mahesh Jethmalani, the numbers are on your screen. Since 2001, $2.86 billion came into India from USAID alone. $2.86 billion came into India from USAID. That's 25,000 crore rupees. Now, we have to put, that is why we are saying there needs to be an investigation. Since 2021 alone, and remember, why am I saying 2021? Because since 2020 till 23-24, the last 4 years have been very, very tumultuous. There have been riots. There have been attempts to target India, to discredit India, the Indian government, those linked to the Indian government, right? Now, that is why it raises questions. Since 2021, 650 million was received in India. That's 5,685 crore rupees. To look at the numbers. Look at the numbers, Mr. Jethmalani. Since 2023, only in 2023 and 2024, $140 million have been received. 140 million.
That's very sinister because I suppose 2021 is when the Democratic deep state, took office.
Yes.
2020 was COVID and the American elections, presidential elections. 2021 they took office, and 2023 that last chunk of money which came, 150 million or 650 million. So that 650 million US that came in sort of coincided with the whole attack when, against Adani and then, against India generally. I mean, and of course, Soros was the one who then said that, this attack on Adani is going to enfeeble Prime Minister Modi forever. But of course, as usual, he was dreaming in color.
Now, when you look at the honor that was bestowed on George Soros by Joe Biden just before he left office, and you look at that amount, I'm putting that graphic up once again. I want you to look at the numbers, Mahesh Jethmalani. 270, the Soros graphic, $270 million was given by USAID to George Soros. Few days back, you saw the pictures of Alex Soros in Bangladesh. He was in Bangladesh. He's not making any bones about it anymore. He goes to Bangladesh, he meets Muhammad Yunus, he meets those kids, those youth, those college-going students who are behind the regime change. He meets them in the open. So is there any doubt that most of this money was used there?
No, but the US government itself has suggested that this money which went into Bangladesh, for instance, was used for regime change, right? He said there's no doubt about it that it was, and that's why Soros is persona non grata. Of course, he was very much persona grata when he got that US medal for that highest civilian award for US Medal for Freedom, whatever it's called. And so did Muhammad Yunus get it.
Yeah.
So everything, I mean, it all ties up. I mean, the receipt of money into India, the $650 million, the meddling in Bangladesh, now openly accepted the regime change. And actually, the way the regime change was managed is that the statement has been put out by the present State Department.
Yeah.
And, there are some very significant steps taken by the new administration, the Trump administration, both by President Biden and Anthony Blinken have been denied security status, right? They can't enter federal buildings and they can't get access to intelligence. This is an extremely significant move. So the democratic deep state has been at it ever since it came to power, right? It tried to destabilize both India and Bangladesh. Bangladesh, it succeeded. And the whole methodology was to, there were three different focal points. One focal point was students, then influencers, and apparently rap music, which is very popular in Bangladesh, played its role. So they actually contrived a rap song, right, which created disaffection against Sheikh Hasina's incumbent government.
Yeah. This is where it gets interesting, Mahesh Jethmalani. I want to break the next part. Look at this particular statistic. we pulled it out from the US spending, USAID website, right? USAID actually allocated $1 million to this group called Helping Hand for Relief and Development. Helping Hand for Relief and Development, or HHRD, which is linked to the Lashkar Front Falah-e-Insaniyat Foundation, which is a clear proxy. In fact, I remember reporting about this several years back, and after the Indian media exposed that link, even America was forced to admit that it was a terror group, but that group got $1 million, or 8.5 crore that went indirectly or directly, right, through this group, through this HHRD, to Lashkar-e-Toiba, to Hafiz Saeed, who's been waging a war against India, who was responsible for the Mumbai terror attacks.
Absolutely. So USAID or USAID is certainly a rogue organization, right? But under the Biden administration, it took its orders from President Biden, and all this has happened. There's no doubt about it.
Okay, my last question to you is, and do you think the government should do something about this? Do you think the government should investigate where this money went? Because if America is investigating, if America is openly discussing it, they're auditing everything, right, on this US aid. Should we as a country follow the dots?
Niranjan, sorry, but I think that you are underestimating our government. They are probably 1,000 steps ahead of both you and me.
Yes, but we don't know.
I have no doubt. I have no doubt that our intelligence agencies are really burning the midnight oil on investigating what USAID has done in India.
Yeah, and just one last thing. I want you to see this and I'll free you because I know you have to leave. Look at the next. I'm breaking the next update on this. The number. You will remember this group called the OCCRP. USAID directly gave OCCRP $6.5 million in the last few years. And I'm talking about the last 4 years alone. That's 58 crore rupees to the Journalism Development Network, Inc. And why am I showing you this graphic? Why are we showing you this graphic? Because since 2020, the OCCRP has targeted the Covaxin. There was a global campaign launched against Covaxin. Pegasus was brought into the parliament by OCCRP, right, which calls itself the Crusader for Journalism and Corruption, fighting corruption. They targeted India, Covaxin hit job, Pegasus hit job, and and on your graphic right now, they targeted Adani, right? Why are the different reports that came in?
But the links, Niranjan, between George Soros and OCCRP, and you know that Prashant Bhushan, right, in the Adani matter, used OCCRP information, alleged information, tidbits of which he himself had provided to OCCRP to raise a presumption against the Adanis in that matter.
Yeah.
But, you know, not just Soros, not just the OCCRP, but look at the agents, look at who parroted the agenda of these sinister organizations.
Yeah.
It is the local agents you must get to because they worked in complete tandem.
Yeah.
Examined with the money went to them.
Yeah.
Who are those people? We all know who they are.
You like this one, the last graphic?
Who took up Pegasus? Who took up Adani?
Yeah.
Who's taken up Rafael? Who's taken up all these things?
Yeah. I'm going to, because I don't have that report ready with me yet, the graphic ready yet, but I just want to tell you, and you like this last part, Sam Pitroda's NGO Global Knowledge Initiative has 3 founders, right? Sam Pitroda is one of the founders of this GKI. You will be very, very interested to know that the other 2 founders of this Global Knowledge Initiative, apart from Sam Pitroda, are directly linked to USAID and are directly linked to Rockefeller Foundation, right? Why am I saying all of this? Because Sam Pitroda's NGO on its website has admitted getting USAID funding. And you'll be even more interested to know that the USAID funding to Sam Pitroda's NGO started when UPA came to power.
But there you go. So, of course, Sam Pitroda is one of the key persons. He's undoubtedly the Democratic deep state, controlled by George Soros. He's one of the key personnel for regime change and turbulence in India. There's no question about it. Sam Pitroda has a lot to answer. And I have no doubt that the coming days will expose Sam Pitroda and all his Indian cohorts in India. But there's much more than that. USAID has also exposed, Niranjan, that BBC received a lot of money.
Yes.
USAID gave BBC money. Remember how BBC went to town on that Modi documentary in Gujarat?
Exactly. Exactly. It's all linked.
This is a very, very sinister, deep-rooted conspiracy with a lot of American money. Innocent taxpayers did not use the sinister purpose to which their money was being put to use.
It's a fascinating story, and I think we will continue to peel the layers of this. So, Mahesh Jethmalani, thank you for joining us here on Republic TV. Thank you for your time. Okay, I'm going to put the graphic out. Take a look at this. Sam Pitroda, right? Sam Pitroda's NGO, very interesting. Uncle Sam in America funded Sam Pitroda. Global Knowledge Initiative has 3 founders. Global Knowledge Initiative, Sam Pitroda is one of the founders of it. 2 other founders of this GKI are directly linked to USAID and Rockefeller. And Sam Pitroda's NGO itself admits getting USAID funding. And the funding was to Sam Pitroda's NGO. It began when UPA was in power. Interesting. Very, 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 very interesting. It was also raised in Parliament today. In fact, Nishikant Dubey, parliamentarian of the BJP, from the BJP, raised this issue in Parliament. I'd like to play out his soundbite.
अभी अमेरिका में सत्ता परिवर्तन हुआ है, माननीय राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप बैठे और उन्होंने यूएस एड जो है वो कंप्लीट बंद कर दिया। इस आधार पर बंद कर दिया कि यूएस एड वर्षों से केवल भिन्न भिन्न सरकारों को गिराने के लिए ही अपना पैसा खर्चा करती है। और उसने जो आंकड़े दिए हैं वो बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है देश के लिए। मेरा कुछ सवाल है इस देश से और विपक्ष की जितनी पार्टियां हैं उससे। पहला सवाल आपके माध्यम से सरकार से, पहला ये है कि यूएसएड ने ओपन सोसाइटी फाउंडेशन जॉर्ज सोरोस को 5,000 करोड़ रुपया भारत को टुकड़े करने के लिए दिया या नहीं दिया? यूएसएड और जॉर्ज सोरोस की ओपन सोसाइटी फाउंडेशन ने राजीव गांधी फाउंडेशन और राजीव गांधी चैरिटेबल ट्रस्ट को पैसा दिया।
Okay, so the story is getting very, very interesting, and we here at Republic TV will continue to investigate who got the dollars, who got the US dollars in India, and what did they use it for. That's it on this edition of This Is Exclusive. Trending coming up next at 7:30 p.m. Stay tuned.